Hello, everyone. Welcome back to From a Biblical Perspective with Sabriel Jemison. I don't really know how to start this, but I never thought I would be coming on here, especially not so soon after starting a channel and building a small but important community, that I would be talking about something so personal so quickly like this. But I definitely feel like I really needed to get this out there. I don't know, there might be somebody who really needs to hear this, and I think I really need to say this out loud. And I don't really know how to start, but I guess I'll just say for the past few months, I've been having some struggles with several different things. And I noticed at the beginning of December specifically that this was getting really prevalent. There was just some stuff that was building up, and then through December, I've just been just so sad, like all the time. And I've noticed how it's a lot easier for me to kind of bury my thoughts and my feelings when I'm like doing things. But with a lot of breaks from school and not really being super involved in anything outside of just my usual like hobbies and things, it's become really easy for me to focus on my thoughts and feelings. And that can be good, but it can also sometimes make us wallow in despair. So that's never something that we should do forever. But there's some things that I think teenagers specifically struggle with that a lot of people just don't want to talk about. And a lot of these taboo things that I know people struggle with, and myself included for some of these things, but like stealing, lying, homosexuality, depression, anxiety, pornography, masturbation, just a lot of things that would be considered super hush hush to talk about in like church settings. And even you could say, like, I don't know, just other things like that you just think, I haven't heard anybody preach from the pulpit about that, like almost at all, or in a very long time, or they kind of dance around it really carefully. And I think it would be a lot easier for people that struggle with these things to find help in those things if they knew what to say and what to ask, and that it wasn't going to cause a problem to be saying things about it, and getting advice on it would be just really, really important. And I know there are people online who do talk about these things and offer help about these things, but it would be even better if there was somebody in people's personal lives that had been through these things or overcome these things and could really help with that for people. And like I said, myself included, there's some things I listed that I have struggled with in the past or am struggling through now, and the things that I'm not going through, I know people who have struggled with those things, and it can just be really hard when you feel alone in that. And with the things I've been going through recently, I've just been really sick and tired of being sick and tired. If people that are listening have chronic health issues, you definitely know what I mean when I say that. And I just felt like things were going really well in that area of my life for a few months, and then towards the end of the year, the last few months just kind of sent me back again, and it was just really discouraging when you think that a prayer has been granted or you've made some sort of breakthrough, and then something happens where you just feel like all the progress was taken away, even if that wasn't true. But I've been really struggling with that, and just being very tired, being very unproductive. I feel like my life has just been reduced to singing and laundry. Like, I don't feel like I really do a lot with my life. And even though you go through seasons of sometimes you don't have a lot that you need to do in your life, and sometimes you do, and we go through these seasons, but the fact that I just know there's so many things that people my age are doing, or I see people doing them, and I'm like, wow, I wish that I was doing these things. Like, I want to travel, I want to have a boyfriend, I want to just be involved in a bigger community, I want to strive for like a new big accomplishment or be a part of a musical or something, things like that. And I just feel like very monotone with the life that I'm living. And people are going to say, well, you're young, you don't have to be doing anything great and big right now. But it makes me feel really inadequate when all I do is just sit at home and hurt and think about the things I could be doing that I either can't or simply don't have the resources to do, or just things like that. And it's not that I think I don't have a purpose. Like, I know that I do. There's just many different purposes that someone can have in life, and I just wish there was a lot of things that were happening right now instead of in the future. I literally find myself just thinking, wow, like, I wish that I had a husband and I had kids and I had this great home and I had a great community of friends and I had this new place I was in and a lovely congregation and a beautiful family, and I have some of those things right now. But the big things that I really want to happen in the future, I've been very much like, okay, I really want this to happen, like, right now. Like, where is the future? And it can just be really discouraging sometimes to not have that. And I'm in this stage right now between you're not a kid anymore, but you're not a full grown adult. And that can really make you sometimes grieve the childhood that you used to have, or the things that you used to experience that you don't anymore. And I've been thinking that a lot with my health specifically, where there's just things that I'm like, wow, like, I had no idea at 7 years old that one day I was going to wake up with a really painful stomachache and it was never going to go away. And just thinking about that really can get you down sometimes, and mourning the things that you don't have anymore, or the way that you don't look at life anymore, and how little I find just small things to be super joyful. Like, when I was a kid at Christmas, it was like, wow, everything's so amazing and my life is wonderful and I just have all this joy and this innocence and laughing all the time and just thinking about my future of what I was gonna do. And now I'm here in that future and I want to go back. And a lot of people will say that you're not old enough to be thinking about that yet, but when you have gone through a lot of things that kind of age your body up in a lot of ways, like with the pain that I am always in, always, it just kind of makes me wish that I was really little again and not thinking about that, So that's been kind of hard to think about too. Just grieving the life that you used to have can be a really long process for people who go through life-changing events or health issues or relationships, things like that. So I've been trying to make peace with the memories instead of being bitter about how different things are. And I've also been struggling with kind of not loneliness, because the problem is not that I'm alone. It's more that I don't really know what to say to the people in my life. I don't know how to start talking to somebody about what's going on, or I know that they have this going on in their life, so I don't really want to burden them with this other thing, or they're super busy, or they're not going to really know how to help me, or just things like that that kind of make me not reach out to the people that I have when I have amazing people in my life. But I just feel like I don't really know what to say sometimes. And I think that can be a problem that is known for a lot of people. A lot of people feel that way. And I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know how to start or what to say. And I feel like I'm at just a very stagnant place in my life. Not a lot has changed in a very long time. And, you can pray for these breakthroughs. You can pray for healing or peace or purposefulness. And that can be encouraging and hopeful. And you can get excited about that coming and have confidence in what God's going to do in your life. But sometimes you just sit there and you're like, well, where is it? God, like, where is it? Or I've been asking for this for years, or I've been hoping for this thing to happen, or things like that. And then you get upset with God and you get angry with yourself and you feel this guilt and you're like, what am I doing wrong? And all of these things. And I've also just, on that topic of God, I've been feeling really distant from him lately. And that kind of started a little while ago, several weeks ago, but like I said, in December was when all this really started to feel heavy for me. And I don't know why. I haven't been reading my Bible any less, or praying any less, or going to church any less. It's just been kind of this rough going for me. And I know that that's not true, that he's far away from me. There's just been a lot of things that I wish he was changing in my life, and maybe sometimes he's doing something that I don't recognize yet, and that can be difficult as well. But I've been kind of stuck in some bad, harmful habits as well. Nothing that I really want to share too privately or anything, but some things are not necessarily sinful but aren't necessarily helpful either. Some things that are sinful, some things that I know are just not productive, things like that I just cannot seem to get out of. And all these things I'm talking about I've kind of mixed together and created a very painful pot for me. And I don't know if there's a whole lot I can do about all of this. I'm trying, and that's the truth. It's not that I'm not trying. I try to be productive and stay connected with my friends and keep up spiritual habits and all of those things, but it just hasn't been feeling the same for me recently. And I find myself just so upset every day. And then it makes me even more guilty because I have so many amazing things. I have so many amazing people in my life. And still, I just feel this like emptiness or helplessness or disappointment in what I don't have, or what I don't do, or what I don't get to do, or things like that. And I don't know if there's anyone else who has been feeling that way, but it's really been weighing on me. And I just wanted to let you all know that you are not alone, and the people that you think are super, super strong in their faith still have a lot that they are working through as well. And there is no shame in being imperfect. There is, however, shame in not trying. So the fact that we cannot achieve perfection only means that we can just keep striving for it forever. And that's the way that we can look at that to keep ourselves going. But I'm not gonna lie, it's been really rough lately. And like I said, I feel kind of guilty about saying that because I do have a lot of moments in my life where I'm happy and I have amazing people in my life. There's just been so much going on and clashing in my brain, and I just don't really know what to do about all of it. And I would really appreciate your prayers and your advice for things like this. And if you have any tips or questions, or if you want to also talk about what you've been struggling with in the comment section, I think we can really build a good community of people talking about these things. And life is really hard. You know, I've had some moments recently where I've been just in my depths of despair, as I can be sometimes. And I think so dramatically, I know this is so dramatic, but I think this sometimes, and I know other people probably do too, where they think like, okay, going down the path of unrighteousness, that's bad for me, and that brings me this hopeless feeling, and I feel so unfulfilled, and I'd feel so unhappy. But going down the path of righteousness also is hard, and it's not easy to walk with Jesus. It can be hard sometimes, and the devil is attacking you, and you sometimes wonder where God's help is, and it can be hard either way. And so I find myself sometimes wondering, like, this cannot be it. Like, this cannot really be my life, is it? And just the constant struggle of different areas in our life with relationships and with health and with our productivity and with work or school, and then with your spiritual life, and all of these things that just can collide so often. And I think about how many times people tell me, and other young people hear this, I know, where people will say, oh, just wait until you're this old, or oh, just wait until this happens. And it's like, if it gets worse than this, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I know that you adjust as you get older, and you experience different things. And that's the other thing, you know, I'm getting to this stage of my life where I'm seeing more of what the real world looks like, and the real world adult problems look like. And it's just adapting to that and learning how to handle that can also be difficult. And not knowing what to do, I've just really been felt really stuck in a lot of these things. And just on a daily basis, all I'm thinking about is how much I'm hurting, and how much I wish I had somebody right here to talk to me, when I have so many friends and I just won't reach out to them because I don't know what to say, or I feel like they're busy or whatever, or I feel so unproductive, but I won't motivate myself to do all these things. And it's just all very overwhelming, and it's just been really hard. It's been hard. I feel like there was more that I wanted to say, but I don't really know what else to say. I'm surprised I made it through this video without crying, because I've cried every single day for the past month, probably at least. And it's just, I don't know, I get so stuck in these patterns, and it's really, really hard for me to get out of that and start feeling like I'm enjoying my life again, because it's not that I don't want to live, you know? It's not that. It's just that I wish the way that I was living was different, you know? And I say, okay, now I'm tearing up. But I see the way that other people are enjoying their lives, and the things that people take for granted, like their health, or, oh, you have a great boyfriend, or, oh, wow, you have siblings, or just things like that. And I've really been feeling the missing void of a sibling lately as well. And I don't want to get into anything super personal. That's not necessarily my business to spread, but that's been something that I felt for a long time, and it's really been coming out recently, where I just think, wow, like, I wish that I had somebody here right now that I could talk to about this, you know? And it's not that I don't want to talk to my parents or my friends, because they're all great. It's just, for some reason, I'm like specifically craving that connection, and I can't really have it anymore. And so that's been kind of hard too. I didn't feel that so strongly until more recently, but I definitely feel that for some reason. There just feels like there's this empty area of, oh, I really want to talk to this specific type of person and I just can't. And yeah, so just be thankful for your health and your family and the friends that you do have and the things that God has given you. And I wish some things were easier. That's really what it is. And I don't want this to be a pity party. I've been very pitied for a very long time. And sometimes it can be validating to feel that way, but other times I just want to know that other people understand where I'm coming from with all of these things and that we aren't alone in how we're feeling. And it's hard to be a teenager. It's hard to be a teenager because you're stuck in this middle of so many areas. You're stuck between an adult and a child. You're stuck between knowing a lot and not knowing anything about what you're going to do and just things like that. And I definitely feel like life is moving so fast, but at the same time, there's a lot of things that I want to leave in the past that I just have to keep carrying with me. And some of it is my fault of like the habits that I can't break, like I said, but some of it is like health related where I just want a certain stage of my life to be over and it's not, and it probably never will be. And I didn't think this was where I was going to be at 18 years old. Sitting here on my bed recording a video to the whole internet about how hard my life has been. And also thinking about how sometimes it feels like I don't have the right to make these type of videos because, like I said, I have so much to be thankful for. But I just have really realized lately how much is happening that I don't like. And all the things I do have, I feel like they don't make me as happy as some of these other things would if I had them. And that can sound like really spoiled brat, like, but I feel like if I had to exchange everything that I had in this room for getting in return for it just peace and genuine happiness and a normal working body and someone who is with me literally all the time in my house that is close to my age, and just those things really, I would make that exchange in a heartbeat, and I would do so much to have those things and those feelings. And a lot of that is up to you. It's up to you if you are peaceful and if you are joyful and if you are confident in your God for what He has given you. But still, it can still be difficult, even though it is up to you. And I've just been feeling a very quiet but chaotic feeling because it doesn't look like on the outside that I have a whole lot going on, but in my brain, it's like going crazy. There's so much going crazy in my mind about all of this, and I hope you have understood where I'm coming from with these things, and please just continue to pray for people throughout the world who are going through tough times. And even though, like I said, I would trade certain things for other things, there is nothing that I would trade for the amazing people I have in my life and I would never trade them or the beautiful areas of sunshine in my life, but I know that there's still some good and some bad in everyone's lives. But thank you so much for listening, and I hope that you have understood all of this, where I'm coming from with this, and I will be making a much more enjoyable and happy video soon pertaining to Christmas. And just thank you so much once again for all of your support, and I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. God loves you.